The simple topic, the next one is the structure of the atmosphere. Already done with the composition, that is what is the atmosphere made up of. What are the different composition, what are the different constituents of an atmosphere, and now a simple topic, that is how is the atmosphere present in the different layers, that is what is the structure of an atmosphere. Now when we say the structure of an atmosphere, we mean that the atmosphere is divided into different layers. Atmosphere is not uniform on the surface throughout the earth. Why? Because as we have done already, the height of the atmosphere is in thousands of kilometers, 16 to 29,000 kilometers. But the major atmosphere below 97%, below 29, 50%, that is below 5 kilometers. Now based on this, there is a difference in the density of the atmosphere. सबसे ज़्यादा density near the surface of the earth. As you go away from the surface of the earth, the density goes on decreasing. Largest, that the atmosphere is most dense near the surface of the earth, and as you go away from the surface of the earth, away means at a certain height, as you go away, the density decreases. If you go too far away from the earth, you do not feel even the heat outside, because the atmosphere is very rarefied, or it is extremely less dense. And that is why there is this atmosphere is divided into different kind of layers based on the composition of the gases, or based on the density, and based on the how the air behaves, or how the atmosphere behaves. So in the structure of the atmosphere, very simplified definition of the structure of the atmosphere, we can see that the atmosphere is divided into different layers from the ground surface. If this is the ground, the atmosphere is divided into different layers. The lowermost layer is known as troposphere. The upper layer is known as stratosphere. Above the stratosphere, there is a mesosphere. Above the mesosphere, there is ionosphere. Above the ionosphere, there is exosphere. So the uppermost limit of the Earth's surface of the atmosphere is exosphere, then ionosphere, then mesosphere, then stratosphere, and then the troposphere. Now why do we divide this? We divide this based on two conditions. The first condition for dividing the atmosphere is the composition of the gases. Now based on this composition of the gases, this layer are further divided into homosphere, and this layer is known as heterosphere. So exosphere, ionosphere comes in heterosphere, while the mesosphere, stratosphere, troposphere comes in homosphere. Now what does the word homo means? Homo means uniformity, same. Homosphere is the layer where there is uniformity in what atmosphere is made up of? Gases. So layer where there is uniformity in the composition of a gases, jahan there is uniformity or homogeneity in the composition of a gases, is known as an homosphere. What do you mean by uniformity or homogeneity? Means nitrogen 78% है, oxygen 21% है, argon 0.93% है, carbon dioxide 0.03% carbon dioxide will be present. Wherever you go in this homosphere, that will be the composition of the gases in the homosphere. As a result of this, there is uniformity in the composition of a gases. This layer will be made up of different gases in the uniform composition as per the percentage what we have studied in the composition. And as a result, this layer, mesosphere, stratosphere and troposphere, is known as homosphere. Well, what do you mean by hetero? Different. That means these layers are made up of different gases. There is no uniformity in the composition of a gases. For example, here in the heterosphere, there is one layer which is made up of only a nitrogen, molecular nitrogen. Above the molecular nitrogen layer, there is a molecular oxygen layer. Above the molecular oxygen layer, there is molecular helium layer, above that molecular hydrogen layer. So thus there are different layers and they are all made up of different gases. So the name is heterosphere. What comes in the heterosphere? Ionosphere and exosphere comes in the heterosphere. These areas, ionosphere or exosphere, are also known as thermosphere. While the lower layer, that is the mesosphere, stratosphere and troposphere, is known as an homosphere. Now when between the boundary of a troposphere and stratosphere, there is an zone of transition which is known as tropopause. Stratopause, mesopause, respectively. That is between the troposphere and the stratosphere there is a tropopause. Between the stratosphere and the mesosphere there is a stratopause. Between the mesosphere and ionosphere, or at the end of a mesosphere, is a mesopause. Pause means rup jana. So the area where the troposphere ends is denoted by tropopause. Where the stratosphere ends, stratopause. Mesosphere ends, mesopause. So what is the question if it comes? What is the structure of the atmosphere? This is what you will have to determine. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere and exosphere. So this is just a simplistic definition. We are not supposed to write so simply in the examination. What we are going to write in the examination we will be doing, but just you get the concept of, this is just a simplistic diagram to make you understand the concept of homosphere and heterosphere. So the atmosphere can be divided into two layers, the homosphere and the heterosphere. Homosphere is the area where there is uniformity in the composition of a gases, and as a result of this, homosphere is further divided into troposphere, stratosphere and mesosphere, depending on obviously changes in the density and changes in the temperature. Heterosphere, where there is no uniformity in the composition of a gases, is further divided into ionosphere and exosphere. Alternatively, the atmosphere can also be divided into troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere and thermosphere. Thermosphere means nothing but an ionosphere and exosphere. Now, as we have already done, the majority of the atmosphere is present below 5 kilometers. Below 50% of the atmosphere is present below 5 kilometers. Now, dividing the atmosphere into different layers, the first layer, as we have done, is troposphere. What do you mean by troposphere? Troposphere means area where there is a mixing of the gases occur. Where mixing of gases occur. Where there is a mixing up of the gases. Where there is, due to mixing up of the gases, or it is, we can call it as a zone of mixing up of the air. So it is a zone of an mixing up of air. Now for mixing up of air, what has to happen? The air has to blow. So whenever the air blows, we call it as a wind or a breeze depending upon the speed. So area where there is a wind blowing, area where there is a breeze blowing is known as an troposphere. Now जहाँ पे wind है, जहाँ पे breeze is blowing, वहाँ पे there will be formation of a clouds, formation of different weather phenomena. It is the most important layer. It is the lowermost layer. Of atmosphere. It is the lowermost layer of the atmosphere. Most important because all weather phenomena occur in this layer. What do you mean by all weather phenomena? Example, clouds, rain, precipitation, hailfall, fog, thunder. This all occur in this layer. Most important for life forms. It is the most important layer for the life form because the entire living ecosystem is concentrated in this layer. Is concentrated in this layer. So what is a troposphere? It is an area where the mixing of the gases occur. That means where the most of the weather phenomena occur. It is the lowermost layer on the surface of the earth, which is attached to the surface of the earth. It is the most important layer because all the weather phenomena occur in this layer. What are the weather phenomena? Clouds, rain, thunderstorm, etc. It is the most important for the biospheric ecosystem or for the life on this earth. Now, the other we can write is in this layer that is in tropopause, the temperature decreases with increasing height. At the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer or for 1000 meters or for per kilometer we can say. Now this rate of decrease is known as normal lapse rate. It is known as a normal lapse rate. It is known as a normal lapse rate. So what is a troposphere? जहाँ पे as you are rising up from the ground surface, as you are going up from the ground surface, the temperature is decreasing at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. After every 1 kilometer you go up, the temperature goes on decreasing. इसलिए the higher the mountain peak is, there will be chances of a snowfall in this region. जितना ज़्यादा height उतना glacier or snow covered peaks. In fact, as we have already done, Mount Kilimanjaro, which is located exactly on the equator, still has snow line, permanent snow line, because of its height, because of the normal lapse rate, जहाँ पे 6.5 डिग्री सेल्सियस पर किलोमीटर या 1000 मीटर्स पे जाने से टेम्परेचर डिक्रीजेस at the rate of 6.5 degree Celsius per 1000 meter or per kilometer, which is known as a normal lapse rate. So can this be reason that why hill stations are cooler or why hill stations are popular tourist destinations, especially during the summer season? Where do you prefer to go? In the hill stations. Now, why are the hill stations cooler? Yes, this is one of the reason. Normal lapse rate. Now, normal lapse rate is the reason. But why does the normal lapse rate occur? For that, this you remember as we done, composition में water vapor is concentrated in the lower layers. जैसे आप ऊपर जाते हो, concentration of water vapor decreases. Second is, as you are going up, density of the air decreases. Third is, we will do the third reason at the end of our insolation topic, and then we will solve this question, that why the hill stations are cooler, or why there is a normal lapse rate, or why the higher peaks are covered by snow, or why there is a pleasant climate on the major hill station. That all answer is the same. Or why does the normal lapse rate occur? So the next point is, in this layer the temperature decreases with the increasing height, which is known as an normal lapse rate. Now, if you look at the, you have not done the, this is the equator, and if this is the polar region, 90-degree poles. If we look at the air in the polar region and the equatorial region, if you look at the equatorial region, यहाँ पे the air is rising from both the sides. That is, the air is going up in both the sides. And in this region, the air is coming down यहाँ पे. The air is coming down in the polar region, resulting into high pressure zone and low pressure zone. Now, because the air is rising upwards, obviously the height, what is in troposphere, the zone where there is a mixing up of the air. So when the air is rising upwards, it is expanding the troposphere, while here the air is coming downwards, it is decreasing the height of a troposphere. So height of a troposphere is greater at the equatorial regions, while it is lower at the polar regions. What is the height of a troposphere? It is around 16 kilometers over the equator. While it is around 8 to 9 kilometers over the polar region. You understand the reason? Because of the ascending air, because of the descending air. So there is a difference in the height of a troposphere, or there is a difference in the height of a tropopause. Why in the height of a tropopause? क्योंकि अगर troposphere में difference in the height is there, then obviously tropopause. Why? Zone where the mixing stops is tropopause. जहाँ पे troposphere ends, that is a tropopause. So यहाँ पे the troposphere is ending after 16 kilometers. At the equator, यहाँ पे the troposphere is ending after 9 kilometers. So obviously the height of a tropopause will vary. So in the troposphere, there is a variation in the height of a troposphere. There is a variation in height. That is, it is around 16 kilometers over the equator. And it is around 9 kilometers over the poles. So there is a variation in the height of a troposphere. It is around 16 kilometers over the equators, and it is around 9 kilometers over the poles. Now, because of this variation, will there be difference in the amount of temperature? Earth में सबसे ज्यादा temperature is in the polar region या in the equatorial region? कहां पे आपको ज्यादा temperature मिलेगा? On the equatorial regions are characterized by high temperature. Polar regions 90 degree north, 90 degrees south. यहाँ पे you will be characterized by Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle. Antarctic region and the Arctic region. So obviously, why? यहाँ पे there is a continuous snowfall. This area is continuous under the snow. Remember your glacial lectures. There is an ice sheet covering in this region. Therefore, this region are perennially under snow or permanently under the snow at the ground surface. But what is the height of a troposphere, or what is the height of a tropopause? It is around 16 kilometers over the equator, while it is around 9 kilometers over the poles. So the temperature at tropopause, जहां पे at this line, if this is a line of a tropopause, what is the height here? 9 kilometers. What is the height here? 16 kilometers. So the temperature at the end of a troposphere, that is in the area of a tropopause, where it will be greater? Will it be greater at the equator or will it be greater at the polar region? Or I can ask you where it will be lesser. Will it be lesser at the equator or in the polar regions? The temperature at the end of an tropopause is less over the equator than compared to the poles, because the height of a troposphere is greater over the equator as compared to the polar regions. So you can use the simple calculation by multiplying it with 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. There is a difference of around 9 to 10 kilometers यहाँ पे. So multiply 6.5 by 9 to 10 and then subtract it. यहाँ पे you will see you can arrive at a simple calculation. So what can we say? Because of greater height of troposphere, over equator, the temperature at tropopause is lesser over the equator than poles. So the temperature at a tropopause is lesser over the equator than the poles. Why? Where not at the ground level, at the tropopause level. Why? Because of the greater height of troposphere over the equator. Therefore, the temperature is lesser as compared to the polar regions. So this is one of the factor. Then the zone where mixing of the air stops is known as the end of a troposphere, and it is known as a tropopause. The zone where mixing up of the air stops is known as tropopause, or that means the end of an troposphere. So, what is a troposphere? It is the lowermost layer. What are the important points? It is the lowermost layer near the surface of the earth. Second, it is the zone where there is a mixing up of the air. It is the most important layer. Why? Because all the climatic and weather phenomena, all the life forms can exist only in the troposphere. What is the climatic characteristics? As we go away from the surface of the earth, with increasing height, the temperature in the troposphere decreases at the rate of 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. What is the practical implication? Hill stations are one of the practical implications. This rate of decrease of the air is known as a normal lapse rate. The second is the height there is a variation in the height of a troposphere. The height of a troposphere over the equator is greater. As I told you in the diagram, air is rising upwards, so height is greater as compared to at the poles, where air is coming downwards. And as a result of this, though at the equator, at the surface of the earth on the equator, there is a higher amount of heat or higher temperature at the tropopause level, that is at the end of a troposphere, the temperature over the equator is lesser as compared to the polar regions. Very, very important point. You take this down, note it down mentally. And why it is, again, very, very simple explanation, because of the variation in the height. And how to remember it? Take your calculator and calculate it. Take 30 degrees as an average. Take the difference of around 10 kilometers or 8 to 10 kilometers and see where the temperature is. Equator pe le lo 30 degrees, take 0 degree at the poles, and even then you can see the difference. Then the next layer is a stratosphere. The next layer is the stratosphere. What is the stratosphere? It is a layer just above the troposphere. It is the layer just above the troposphere. It extends from around 20 kilometers to 50 kilometers to 50 kilometers. There is no major weather phenomena. Major weather phenomena in this layer, in the stratosphere. There is no major weather phenomena in the stratosphere except some very weak winds. Except weak or feeble winds and high clouds. Known as cirrus clouds. Known as cirrus clouds. Known as cirrus clouds. And what is the importance of this stratosphere? The importance of this stratosphere lies in the lower layer of the stratosphere. That is around 30 to 35 kilometers from the surface of the earth, has presence of ozone gas. Has a presence of ozone gas and is known as ozonosphere. Known as ozonosphere. It is known as an ozonosphere. It has a presence of an ozone gas. It is known as an ozonosphere. Why it is important? It is important because the ozonosphere Why is the ozonosphere important? Because the ozonosphere does not allow, or we can say the blocks or absorbs almost all ultraviolet rays and thus prevent them from reaching the earth. From reaching the earth. It absorbs the harmful ultraviolet rays and it does not prevent thus it prevents the ultraviolet rays from reaching the surface of the earth. Had this ozonosphere not been there, then we would have had ultraviolet rays directly reaching the surface of the earth, and the ultraviolet rays cause cancers and many diseases, especially cancers in the white skinned people or fair skinned people. It also results into one more environmental phenomena that is known as a photochemical smog. So due to the presence of the stratosphere, we have there is a concentration of ozone gas, and here the ultraviolet rays do not reach the surface of the earth. This layer in the lower stratosphere is known as an ozonosphere. Now, what is the other importance of this ozonosphere or the stratosphere is because of the presence of the ozone gas. Of ozone gas, temperature increases with increasing height. यहाँ पे the temperature will go on increasing with the increasing height. Now, why the temperature increases with the increasing height? Because there is a presence of an ozone gas or ozonosphere. See, exactly opposite of what we studied in the troposphere. In the troposphere, the temperature used to decrease with the increasing height. यहाँ पे the temperature increases with the increasing height, resulting into, why does it increase? Because ozone gas absorbs the ultraviolet rays and heats up. Therefore, the temperature increases with the increasing height. The end of a stratosphere, the end of an stratosphere is known as stratopause. Is known as stratopause, or it is known as an stratopause, where the temperature is around 0 degrees Celsius. Why 0 degrees Celsius? Because troposphere mein, what is the average temperature on the surface of the earth? Around 20-25 degrees Celsius. Increase hote hote it becomes around minus 40 degrees Celsius. Decrease hote hote at the end of a tropopause, at the end of a troposphere, that is at the tropopause, it becomes around somewhere around minus 40. Uske baad, due to the presence of ozone, it increases in the stratosphere, becomes 0 degree Celsius. Now the next layer is known as an mesosphere. The next layer is known as an mesosphere. In this mesosphere, this is above the stratosphere. Above the stratosphere, here temperature decreases with increasing height and becomes around minus 80 degrees Celsius at 80 kilometers, which is a layer of a mesopause, which is the height of an mesosphere. That it becomes a minus 80 degrees Celsius at mesopause, or at around 80 kilometers from the ground surface. What is the importance of a mesosphere? As such, no importance, just that it is a part of an homosphere. यहाँ पे again the temperature goes on decreasing uniformly. ट्रोपोस्फियर से मेसोस्फियर तक टेम्परेचर शुड हैव डिक्रीज्ड यूनिफॉर्मली, बट रिमेंबर ओजोन गैस के वजह से द टेम्परेचर इंक्रीजेस इन द स्ट्रेटोस्फियर एंड देन अगेन इट गोज ऑन डिक्रीजिंग. So this is the mesosphere. If you remember our previous diagram, that Earth is divided into homosphere and the heterosphere, or thermosphere. So उसके ऊपर the mesosphere के बाद there is a thermosphere. There is thermosphere. The thermosphere is further divided into remember in thermosphere temperature increases with increasing height. The temperature increases with the increasing height, and it is divided into two layers. One is ionosphere. And the other layer is exosphere. What is the ionosphere is further divided into different layers. It lies between 80 kilometers to 640 kilometers. And it is further divided into D layer, E layer, F layer and G layer. And D, E, F and G layer away from the surface of the earth. That is D layer सबसे नीचे, उसके ऊपर E layer, उसके ऊपर F and उसके ऊपर G layer. How to remember? Alphabetically they are arranged. D, E, F and G. Very simple to remember because these are alphabetically arranged from lower to below. That is the D layer is between the height of around 60 to 90 kilometers. Or we can say around 60 to 90 because this between 80 to 99 kilometers, sorry, not 60 to 90, between 80 to 99 kilometers. E layer from 99 to around 130 kilometers. F layer from 130 kilometers to around 380 kilometers. And this from 380 kilometers to 640 kilometers. And above this 640 kilometers, it is known as an exosphere. Above the 640 kilometers, it is known as an exosphere. Now why this is known as an ionosphere? This is because it is present of different kind of an ions, and because of the different kind of ions, it reflects the radio waves in this layer. Here also there is a presence of, in thermosphere, there is a presence of natural aurora borealis and aurora australis. That is the presence of lights or something lightning in the sky or beautiful firework in the sky in the northern pole and at the southern pole. Northern pole aurora borealis, southern pole mein aurora australis. Now before I go to that, now you remember that thermosphere is divided into ionosphere. The ionosphere is also further divided into D layer, E layer, F layer and G layer. D, E, F and G layer. Now, what is the significance of D layer? Reflects low frequency radio waves, while this remaining layers, they reflect medium and high frequency radio waves. They reflect medium and high frequency radio waves. So remember, the lowermost layer, D layer, reflects low frequency, baki sare they reflect the high frequency, medium and high frequency radio waves. In fact, E and F layer are also known by their local name, by different names, such as E layer is known as Kenele, it is known as Kinley Heaviside layer. It is known as Kinley Heaviside layer, while the F layer is known as Appleton layer. It is known as an Appleton layer. It is known as So what is a thermosphere? Thermosphere is where the temperature increases with increasing height. It is further divided into ionosphere and exosphere. The ionosphere is between 80 kilometers to 640 kilometers. Ionosphere is further divided alphabetically in D layer, which is the lowermost layer, then E layer or Kinley Heaviside layer, F layer or Appleton layer, and G layer or G layer. Now, what is the significance of these layers? These layers are significant in the form they reflect the radio waves. The D layer reflects low frequency radio waves, while E, F and G layer reflect medium and high frequency radio waves. The outermost limit of an atmosphere, beyond 640 kilometers is known as an exosphere. Beyond 640 kilometers is known as an exosphere. Here the temperature is very, very high. It is somewhere around 5000 degrees Celsius, around 5568 degrees Celsius. But obviously, as I told you, यहाँ पे the air is so dense that such an high temperature cannot be felt by a normal thermometer. That is, if you remove your hand outside, your hand won't get burned because the air is very, very rare here. So, but because of extremely rarefied air, such high temperature cannot be felt or cannot be measured by normal thermometer. Cannot be measured by normal thermometer. or we can say it is never felt in this layer. So what is the thermometer where such can be measured? That is your assignment. Find out or wait for the attachments. You will see that in the attachments. So the structure of the atmosphere, we'll revise it. We will do it again. And now how to write it in the examination, because here a question will be directly determine or explain the structure of the atmosphere. What we have done is just one part, because what is missing is the most important, the diagram determining the structure of the atmosphere. So the diagram determining should be there in the answer for the mains examination. And also, obviously, you should be very, very comfortable with the diagrams. Any NCERT book which deals with the atmosphere chapter has the structure of the atmosphere diagram in it. You must have commonly seen a diagram in which there are some figures and it looks like a graph. That is the diagram for the structure of the atmosphere. So how is the structure of the atmosphere? You can write what we have write. The atmosphere is divided into homosphere, heterosphere. Then why it is homosphere? Why it is heterosphere? Alternatively, the atmosphere is also divided into mesosphere, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and then explain what is a troposphere, explain what is a stratosphere, what is a mesosphere, and what is a thermosphere. And what you have to write the most important point depending upon the word limit. 150 words, most important point should be there. 200 words, again the most important point should be there. What to include, what not to include, that will come with the practice. Okay. So the structure of the atmosphere, I will again revise the structure of the atmosphere. If this line shows the temperature, and if this line shows 0 kilometers, height 20 kilometers, (40 kilometers), 60 kilometers, 80 kilometers. How do we, if this is height and if this is temperature, the x-axis is temperature, how do we determine the structure of an atmosphere? Now, atmosphere, as we said, the lowermost layer is troposphere. In the troposphere, the temperature goes on decreasing with the increasing height, and it becomes somewhere around 45 degrees Celsius at the end of an troposphere. So in the diagram, the temperature of the earth goes on decreasing with the increasing height. So as you are going away, the temperature decreases with the increasing height. And at around 16 to 19 kilometers, it becomes somewhere around minus 45 degrees Celsius. This lowermost layer is known as an troposphere. The area where there is a zone of mixing stops is known as an tropopause. After the tropopause, the temperature again increases, and till 50 kilometers, the temperature increases and becomes around 0 degrees Celsius at around 50 kilometers. This is known as an stratosphere. After that, the zone where the temperature stops, stratopause. After that, again the temperature decreases and it becomes minus 80 degrees Celsius at 80 kilometers from the surface of the earth, and after that the temperature again it goes on increasing. So this layer, the lowermost layer is known as troposphere. Tropopause, stratosphere, stratopause, mesosphere, allow me to make some changes in the diagram so that you can better see it. Mesopause, and after that the temperature will go on increasing. It becomes very, very high, that is in the thermosphere. So stratopause, then mesosphere, and lastly mesopause. So these are the different layers of the atmosphere. Now coming to it, what we have revised, the lower 20 to 35 kilometers has the presence of a bluish gas which is known as ozone. Therefore this layer is known as ozonosphere. This layer is known as ozonosphere. So this is how the major structure of the atmosphere is. After that there is a thermosphere after mesosphere, which I cannot show you in the diagram here because then there will be limitations here. So after that there is a thermosphere, that is D, E, F, G layer, and lastly there is an exosphere, but not that much important from the practical viewpoint. Now look here. What is this troposphere? Troposphere is the area where the temperature goes on decreasing with the increasing height. Earth mein around temperature is somewhere around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. As we are going away, that is, as we are going away from the surface of the earth, the temperature goes on decreasing, and it becomes somewhere at minus 45 degrees Celsius at the end of an troposphere. That is where there is zone of mixing up of the air stops. And this end of a troposphere where there is a less zone on mixing is known as an tropopause. Why the troposphere is important? Because all the major weather phenomena, that is lightning, thunder, all major weather phenomena, rainfall, winds, etc., they occur in the troposphere. And therefore, why the temperature decreases? As I told you, one of the reason is normal lapse rate. Why normal lapse rate occur? As I told you, at the end of the next topic, we will understand it in a better way. Troposphere is the most important and the lowermost layer because it sustains all the major light forms. Now, have you, while traveling through air, have you experienced turbulence? That is the shaking of the airplane. If there is a bad weather, then make sure that there is no one moving around in the airplane and everyone is asked to sit with their seat belts on. Okay? या कृपया अपनी सीट की पट्टी बांध लो. This is the common way they are saying. Now the shaking up of the airplane occurs when there is a turbulence. What do you mean by turbulence? When there are pockets of the air. That is when there is a mixing of the air, when the pockets, flight when it is going over the pockets of the air. If the flight is traveling in this region, that is in the lower region, there will be too much of the disturbance, because this is a zone jahan pe there is a vertical mixing up of the air, that is air comes up and goes down, and where there is an horizontal mixing up of the air in the form of winds, trade winds, westerlies, etc. Now to stop this, so that to make sure that there is too much turbulence in the flights, commercial aircrafts, they generally fly in the tropopause region. They fly in the tropopause region. Why do the commercial aircrafts fly in the tropopause region? Because what is troposphere? Zone where there is a mixing. Mixing कैसे हो सकती है? Vertical mixing, that is up and down mixing. Air rises, air comes down. Or there can be horizontal mixing, winds. To make sure that the mixing up of the air is avoided, so that there is less turbulence, they fly in tropopause. What is a tropopause? Zone where there is no mixing up of the air. The zone where there is end of a troposphere. So the area where there is no mixing up of the air is tropopause. So to avoid the vertical wind mixing and horizontal mixing of the wind, the commercial aircrafts fly in the tropopause region, or just above the troposphere, or at a certain height, at a great height in the troposphere. Why? Because it has to avoid all the major weather phenomena. Next, come to the next layer, that is the stratosphere. Now, why does the stratosphere mein there is increase in the heat? यहाँ पे the temperature after 45 degrees Celsius, it start increasing, and from minus 45 degrees Celsius it becomes 0 degrees Celsius at the end of a stratosphere, that is near the stratopause region. Why there is a mixing? Because there is a presence of ozone gas why there is increase in the temperature? Because यहाँ पे there is a presence of ozone gas. The presence of ozone gas absorbs the ultraviolet radiations, and as a result of this, we say that as a result of this, the temperature increases in the stratopause. Now, where is this ozone gas? This ozone gas is concentrated in the lower stratosphere, around the height of 35 kilometers. In this layer, it is saturated here. This layer is known as an ozonosphere. What is the importance of an ozonosphere? The ozonosphere is important because it absorbs the ultraviolet radiations. Now, what we are doing, as I said, economic man, industrialized man, we are polluting the atmosphere. We are releasing too much greenhouse gases, too much poisonous gases, too much fossil fuels, and as a result of this, there is an hole in the ozone layer, especially in the Arctic region, which is known as an ozone hole. That is, ozone layer has been disrupted, resulting into formation of an ozone hole. And as a result of ozone hole, ultraviolet rays can directly come and pass through and reach the atmosphere. And as I said ultraviolet rays they can cause skin diseases, especially cancer. They cause photochemical smog, which itself is a dangerous phenomena because it may result into numerous kind of respiratory problems. So, as a result of this, the ozone layer has started depleting. And to stop the ozone layer from depleting, we have two conventions. One is, or to protect the ozone layer, we have why the ozone layer has, what are the principal enemies of ozone layer? These are chlorine, gases having chlorine and bromine. The gases having chlorine and bromine are the principal causes for the ozone layer, destruction of the ozone layer. These are known as CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, or hydrofluorocarbons. That is, chlorofluorocarbons and hydrofluorocarbons. Or halogenated fluorocarbons, not halogenated fluorocarbons, HFCs. Now, where are these uses? What are the CFCs? They contain either chlorine or bromine, which destroys the ozone layer, and as a result, ozone layer has been destroyed. There is a hole in the ozone layer. Now, where are they used? They are used in refrigeration industry. They are used in refrigerators. They are used in air conditioners. They are also used in deodorants and perfumes. So as a result of this, these particles are then carried up by the winds in the atmosphere, and they reach the stratosphere and they destroy the ozone layer. Why? Because ozone is highly unstable. It reacts with these gases and results into formation of depletion of an ozone layer. And to stop this, we have Montreal Protocol. To stop this chlorine and bromine, or to stop this CFCs, or to stop the use of ozone depleting substances for the protection of ozone layer, we have Montreal Protocol for the protection of an ozone layer. Which protocol we have? We have the Montreal Protocol on the substances that deplete the ozone layer. It is a part of Vienna Convention. On protection of ozone layer. So what does the Montreal Protocol say? Montreal Protocol say that the phase out the substances having chlorine or bromine, or phase out the chlorofluorocarbons, halogenated hydrocarbons, phase them out so that ozone depleting substances are not produced, and as a result of this, we have now substituted, and most of the CFCs have been phased out, and there has been improvement in the ozone hole. That is, there has been reduction in the ozone hole. So the Montreal Protocol on the substances that deplete the ozone layer, phasing out the CFCs, it is a part of Vienna Convention on the protection of an ozone layer. So Vienna Convention is a larger part, and of which the Montreal Protocol is a part. Both are for the protection of an ozone layer. At the end of a stratopause, now there is one more thing, hypersonic or supersonic jets. They also travel in the stratosphere, in the stratopause. The supersonic jets here, they travel in this region, and as a result, they are also reason for depleting the ozone substances. After that comes the mesosphere. Yahan pe the temperature again decreases with the increasing height, and then lastly the thermosphere. So how is the structure of the atmosphere? This is the structure of the atmosphere. Now some of the important points you should remember. Why do the commercial aircrafts travel at the tropopause? To avoid the winds. Vertical winds, horizontal winds. Horizontal winds, their mileage will decrease because it will cause resistance. Vertical winds, it will cause turbulence. Ozone layer, what is a Montreal Protocol? It is a protocol on the protection of an ozone layer, part of Vienna Convention. What does it do? It phases out chlorofluorocarbons. What are these? These are ozone depleting substances, chlorofluorocarbons. That is the substances which contain either chlorine or which contain bromine. These are the chlorofluorocarbons. After that, there is a mesosphere, not that much importance. After that, there is a thermosphere. It consists of D layer, E layer, F layer, G layer, and lastly it consists of which? Exosphere. Exosphere is the outermost limit, jahan pe the temperature is very high, but it cannot be determined by our normal thermometer. So if the question comes in the examination, the structure of the atmosphere, what you have to remember? The diagram, homosphere. First, start with the definition of an atmosphere. Always start with the definition. Second, make a diagram which I have just drawn. Third, determine the structure. Or third, write it. That is, it consists of the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. And lastly, you can write that it can be also divided into homosphere and heterosphere. Okay. So how you can make a diagram which shows both homosphere and heterosphere? You can make this simple diagram. Now here I can take the liberty of drawing it on the small board so that you have understood it. So here first the temperature goes on decreasing with the increasing height. Then after that tropopause. Then again the temperature increases. Just make sure that you fix the coordinates. Again it is very easy. The temperature increases in the stratosphere, stratopause. Again the temperature decreases. Now उसके बाद the temperature goes on increasing indefinitely. You don't have to show this. So which is this layer? It is a troposphere. Stratosphere. Mesosphere. And thermosphere. And the transition zone tropopause. Here ozonosphere. Stratopause. Mesopause. And the thermosphere, first ionosphere, and after height, exosphere. That is after 640 kilometers. So you can draw a pointed diagram here. 640 kilometers. This part is known as homosphere. And this part is known as heterosphere. So, see, this is the simple diagram which you are expected to draw in the examination, and also you should know it because then remembering becomes very easy. That is, jet planes fly. Hamesha ek question comes from the wind or atmospheric structures and all these things. So very, very easy to remember. Okay, so Ozonosphere, stratosphere. If ozonosphere, then Vienna Convention, Montreal Protocol should be in your mind. Ozone, photochemical smog should be in your mind. जिनके में melanin pigment is less, that is the fair skinned people, it causes cancer in this, it should be on mind. So this is how you relate it. Okay, so this ends with the structure of the atmosphere. For better diagram, you can look in the NCERT or you can look at the attachment. So thank you. We'll continue with our next topic.